This video shoutout goes to Video Ben. Leave a comment for your chance to be featured in the next video. Splatoon should be enjoyed by everyone. It's such a great game, but there aren't really any alternatives for those who don't have a Nintendo console. Games that are similar to Splatoon just can't quite match what it is. There are some games that try, and a game like Paintman Go has shown that free Splatoon games can be rough. I mean, to be fair, it is quite hard replicating Splatoon because it's such a unique and distinct game and being able to make it free at the same time. But what if there was a free game like Splatoon that was actually good? Paintman Go may make that seem impossible, but there might actually be a few good ones out there. Roblox is filled with all kinds of games. Some people may view Roblox as just a kid's game, but it is so much more than that. There's currently a work-in-progress Splatoon game on Roblox. Now, again, it being on Roblox may sound like a bad thing, but I believe it actually looks very, very promising. There have been tons of Splatoon games on Roblox, but I found this one to be kind of special. Paintman Go struggled throughout its life because it just tried to copy and rip off Splatoon. Like, look at Sepia Go. It is just a straight-up rip-off. Now, yeah, that is the point of a Splatoon-like game, but they don't have to be rip-offs. They don't have to be shameless cash grabs. That is where this game comes in. The game is called Splat Goo, and it is a game that, though it looks like Splatoon in some ways, is actually a distinct game with some character designs, history, and flavor. Splat Goo is actually very, very old. In fact, it dates back to 2015. The wiki actually says it came out in April. I don't know if I believe that, because that's earlier than when Splatoon 1 came out. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, wow, they really got on that. Back then, the game looked like this and was just called Splatoon Alpha. Here's footage from it back in the day, and yeah, it doesn't look horrible, but it certainly is a work-in-progress Splatoon game on Roblox. Think about the time though. Splatoon came out and not everyone had a Wii U. I certainly didn't, so this game was an alternative for some people. But this game certainly wasn't living up to what it could have been. Over the years, the game had a few updates and eventually started to look really, really good. And also really, really similar to Splatoon. Like, suspiciously similar. Not calling this game a ripoff at all, but it was literally just Splatoon and filled with assets taken directly from the game. Though this wasn't done in a malicious way, the game did kind of look like a bunch of stolen stuff in a Roblox Splatoon ripoff. They took the models for a lot of stuff, including weapons, squid forms, and the hub world, like the arrow sprite and Cop with Square are good examples. Music and some sound effects were also just ripped straight from Splatoon. The map layouts were also very, very similar to those of Splatoon. This doesn't quite match Black Belly Skate Park, but it is literally just Black Belly Skate Park. Before this goes any further, I want to say that this was never planned to be an original game, and it was just a cool and free way to experience Splatoon, which I really, really appreciate. The game was made to be Splatoon on Roblox, and it did use assets from Nintendo, but it tried to be fun and not just a shameless cash grab. Nintendo, however, did not appreciate that so much. In late 2022, Nintendo sent out a DMCA and shut the game down. Nintendo does not like fan games that much, especially when the creators benefit from things such as donations. Now, I don't know what the creators of Splatoon Alpha took donations or made money of any kind, but from my understanding of Roblox, I assume something was gained. That is a whole other can of worms though. What happened though in the end is that the game was taken down. Why am I talking about it now? Well, the game relaunched in 2023 under the new name of Splat Goo, or at least that's how I think you say it. It's filled with a ton of new assets and looks so promising. Welcome to Splat Goo. There's no tutorial or anything when you start the game. You're just greeted with a menu that looks pretty dry bones. Again, this is just an alpha, so that's kind of understandable. It tells you some basic controls and how to play with the instruction of goop the most ground to win, which for some reason I find very funny. Saying goop instead of like Splat, I guess, just sounds funny. I know it's a shop and some other stuff, but we'll look at that later. Let's go ahead and load into a game. When we load in, we see a menu that's very reminiscent of something like Splatoon 1 and 2's. Don't mind my avatar. Don't just pretend like that's an inkling. After waiting a pretty long time, we get into the match. As we load in, this looks exactly like Mahi Mahi Resort from Splatoon 1. This is definitely Mahi Mahi Resort from Splatoon 1. I wonder if they're actually allowed to just use maps like this. Anyway, the game controls really well. They feel fluid and make sense on PC, which I was really worried about playing Splatoon with the keyboard. The goop does feel a bit weird, gooping the ground in squares, but in Roblox, I think it has to be like that. It's not horrible though. It really doesn't feel bad. Shooting in this game feels pretty good. One thing I want to say about this game is that it sounds bad. No offense to the developers, but this game feels so wrong without music. I assume the game would have some music because of the trailer. Here it is. Yeah, so that music sounds really good. It turns out it's from another Roblox game though. I guess I got permission to use it in the trailer, but not yet in the game. That's a shame because I think the music really fits the aesthetic. I'm sure music will be added eventually. This is just an alpha and music was in Splatoon Alpha, so it should be okay. The reason I bring this up and complain, even though this is an alpha, is because all you hear is this. Yeah, the game kinda sucks to listen to. I think the sound for the gun is way too much. That really isn't the game's fault since the music would kind of drown out the sound of the guns firing, as even in Splatoon guns have firing effects, but the guns just sound annoying, and listening to it with no music or anything for 3 minutes straight makes me go crazy, especially because you don't only hear the noise from your gun, you hear the noise from your friends' guns and your enemies' guns, and it is horrible. Again, I'm sure music will get added. I don't mean this as hate to the developers. It is just, you need to listen to music on your own or just mute the game or something if you want to play it. You fight bots for your first couple of matches, so that explains why they're so dumb, but fighting this game actually feels really fun. It's like Splatoon, except for when you splat someone, instead of like turning to ghost and flying away, they just like explode into a bunch of pieces and collapse onto the floor. I love this so much. It's like you just murdered them and every fiber of their being just snapped. It is horrifying. I love it. It's so silly and I hope this stays in the game. I think this is just what happens when you die in a lot of Roblox games, but it looks really funny. Within like the first minute, I experienced my first bug, which was this enemy just kind of, I don't know, they were like going into the ground and they were like stuck in a state of limbo. I don't know what was happening to them, but I put them out of their misery, so you're welcome. Let's take a moment to look at the squids in this game. I honestly really like how they look. I can't tell what it's supposed to be, maybe some kind of cephalopod, but it honestly looks amazing. It does a great job feeling like, but not straight up copying Splatoon style, and I love it. It's unique and cute, it's 10 out of 10. I think this represents everything this game should be. Similar, yet not copying Splatoon. When the game ends, we have a pretty nice looking loading screen. When you win, there is music for like 2 seconds, which is cool, but like it just goes back to awkward silence and the characters just kind of stand there and it feels weird. Now that we're done with our first match, let's go ahead and check out the store. It is kind of dry, there's not really much going on, but I like it. It's very simple and it is unique. I quickly played another game, nothing important happened in it, and I unlocked the roller, or the sweeper that it's called in this game. I actually think that's a really unique way to incorporate rollers without copying Splatoon. Even the standard gun you get is called the soaker and looks different than Splatoon's splatter shot, so I think it's really smart to kind of make the guns a little bit unique. Anyway, as soon as I loaded into a game, there was only like a minute left, which was really weird, but it was against CPUs, so it really wasn't that bad. Rollers feel, I don't like them. They feel okay, but there's a lot missing, like vertical flicking, which I sadly got used to. Also, when I died, my duck head just flew into space, which made me burst out laughing in real life. I don't know why, just seeing this little duck's head go into space just made me laugh so much. Rollers do feel a little weak. There were many times where I felt like I should have gotten the splat, and it just didn't work. And rolling, oh my gosh, rolling is horrible. It feels so slow, kind of like how it was in Splatoon 1 when rollers didn't get a speed boost. For those who know that, it was rough back then. Hopefully they'll add that eventually. Again, this game's an alpha. I don't mean any harm by these complaints, they're kind of just like, they're there. There's other weapons in the game, but I didn't really find any of them really interesting. They tend to kind of just be like the jet squelcher, but it looks different. I tried the blaster for a game. Nothing really interesting happened. It's just a blaster. I don't really think it works super well in this game, but I'm sure eventually they'll tweak it and make it better. There was this one time, okay, look, there is a person there. Right? There is a person right there, but then I literally shoot all of the ink and they're just not there anymore. I don't know what happened. Some kind of magic was just pulled on me. They just disappeared. My favorite weapon to use was definitely the Splatana. I'm kind of surprised the game has a Splatana, but it is so fun to use. It feels like it got a lot more love and care and work put into it than the other weapons. You can do the standard swing, but you can also charge attack, which I found really nice. I wish the roller kind of got this treatment and they added like vertical flicking and like faster rolling and stuff. I'm sure in due time things like that will get added, so we'll just have to wait and see. When I tried loading into this game, I saw the void. It didn't affect gameplay, but I thought my game crashed or I was about to like not be able to play. My character for this match was Hog Rider. I don't know, what am I doing with my life? I'm playing Roblox. Oh my. Yeah, so as a hog rider with a Splatana, my life was great, except when I died, my pig decided to leave and go into space. I thought it was just the duck in the duck head, but my pig just, my hog left me. Moving on. There's also a few types of bombs, pretty much what you'd expect. There's splat, burst, and suction. They're called other things, I think, but that's what they resemble the most. So they all work how you think they would work. There's no animation for throwing them, so they kind of just appear, but it's fine. Again, this is an alpha game, so I don't want to like hate on like unfinished things too much. I think it's great to have these 3 bombs, but I want a unique idea for bombs. I know that's a lot easier said than done. Like, hey, yeah, come up with an idea for a new weapon, but there's tons of like fan concepts. I'm sure people would love to help. So really, there's a lot of ideas going around, and I just want to see more unique stuff. I showed off a few maps, but a ton of maps are here. From what I saw, there's Mahi Mahi, Arowana Mall, Anchovy Game, Snapper Canal, and again, probably more. That's just what I saw. I think the maps do bring up my number one problem with this game, and that is stolen or borrowed assets. Saying it's stolen is mean because I like this game, I want it to succeed, but I don't like seeing them just copy Splat maps. I think the devs would really benefit from making maps unique as well. Now, unique maps, a lot of work. I get it. I understand that why they're copying Splatoon maps, because they're already laid out and everything, and they also will help people actually want to play, and they'll be balanced, or at least a little bit balanced. But it's not just maps. A lot of assets from Splatoon end up back in this game. Copying Splatoon is what got them in trouble in the first place, so I really hope they push themselves away from Splatoon. Coming up with unique ideas for stuff like bombs, weapons, maps is hard work, but there is a ton of dedicated people in the community. People have come up with a ton of concepts. I'm sure people would love to help. It is an incredible game that does not take away from how hard it is, though. I just don't want this game to copy Splatoon and get taken down again. This game is really, really fun, and I hope it ends up getting the love it deserves. It's unpolished and unfinished in its current state, but I can really see it staying around for a while as long as it gets support. I'm not affiliated with the developers of Splatgoo or anything. This isn't sponsored, and I really think this game has potential to be great. The fact that it hasn't changed in a while worries me, but these are just Roblox developers that I don't believe do this for a job. This is just something they do for fun and for love of Splatoon and the community. I don't mean any hate by this video, and my criticisms are only made to try to make the game better and try to tell you what you should expect if you try to play this game. The game is great. Even if you have Splatoon, I recommend you try it. It's fun, and with enough love and time, I believe this game is going to be so good. Now, as I said at the start of this video, there is a lot of Splatoon-like games on Roblox, and this is just one of the many. I think this game's great, but I would also love to talk about the other ones. Let me know how you thought about this video, or if you think I should talk about multiple of them in one video, or keep them to one video each. Maybe even get off Roblox and try to find Splatoon games elsewhere. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought, really. There's so much I want to do, and I want to make what you guys enjoy. Also, leave a comment and like to enter an organ giveaway. That's right, I'm giving away one of my organs to a lucky viewer like you. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want my liver. What am I doing?